All signs point to this. After a series of different tweets and now a few articles, all-star outfielder Jarren Duran is now in connections to the San Diego Padres. I'm here to break down what a trade could possibly even look like between these two parties and why in the hell the Red Sox would even consider this. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest. But first, please do remember to subscribe to the channel, as nearly 90% of you guys watching this video are not currently subscribed. We do appreciate the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down whether or not Jarren Duran is actually getting traded as soon as this season, before the trade deadline this MLB season. Now, the idea off of face value randomly may seem exactly that, a bit random, and leave you asking why this would even be a topic of conversation. Jarren Duran, who was in the running for MVP last season, who had a all-star breakout season last year, is now in the topic of conversation of trades involving this Red Sox team and possibly another major competitor in a different conference, obviously, or different league, in the San Diego Padres. Now, the Padres obviously are pretty damn good at baseball. Right now, obviously, at face value, once again, on paper, they have a great roster. But due to injuries, as well as things just not working out the way they were hoping for coming into the MLB season, they may need to make a major trade to improve some skill positions, specifically the outfield. And Jarren Duran, who we all know last year had a phenomenal breakout season, has slumped just a tad bit up to this point in the year. Yes, his overall numbers have not been horrible, but again, it's not the numbers you were really hoping for and expecting offensively from Jarren Duran after what you witnessed last season from this young man. Now, I'm not saying he's been bad by any means, but he has just simply not been the excellent all-star MVP candidate level player up to this point in the year that everyone was really hoping for. But now we have conversations and topics that have been really just running all over the internet discussing how the Padres could be very, very efficient and effective this season and go out there and make a major trade to make a push at a World Series championship as soon as this season, with the help of players like Jarren Duran, and again, in the idea that they will go out there and be able to acquire them before the trade deadline in July for the MLB. Now, Dennis Lin went on to tweet this: a difficult June schedule could amplify multiple needs, but the Padres are again showing interest in the Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran. Sources tell at The Athletic San Diego's hole in left field was obvious before Gavin Sheets crashed into a wall. And if you don't know what he's referencing in the title of that article or the little tweet of that article, Gavin Sheets went crashing into the left center wall, if you will, left wall, and he flat out crashed right into it. He thought he was going to be able to make a play on a high drive. It didn't happen. He went crashing into the wall. The ball went over the fence. It was a home run. Gavin Sheets did not enjoy the feeling of it, as well as the overall look that the rest of the world got out of that. But now to the article. This brings up a few really good ideas, and it's not the entirety of what we're going to focus on this video, because there is another piece to this. But again, we'll start with the article. As it goes on to say, as the Padres face a daunting upcoming schedule and glaring holes at the bottom of their lineup, their list of trade targets again includes Boston Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran, league sources told The Athletic. The Padres expressed interest in Duran ahead of the 2024 season before veteran left fielder Jurickson Profar and then rookie center fielder Jackson Merrill joined Duran as first-team All-Stars. Now, an underwhelming Red Sox team might consider Duran expendable. Outfielder Roman Anthony remains close to Boston, and a restless fan base has been clamoring for the arrival of the sports consensus #1 overall prospect. This is a very good point, and I understand this, but we just broke this down in the last video of Red Sox Digest. If the Boston Red Sox are trying to fast-track Roman Anthony to the show and get him to the point where he is playing for the Boston Red Sox as soon as a few days or a few weeks or whatever it may be, the best available option to do so is obviously to leave Jarren Duran in left, leave Weiler in right field, and then allow Cedar Rafael to move into the infield and play second or even shortstop. We know the versatility as well as just the overall efficiency that Cedar Rafael maintains. And yes, is he one of the best gloves in center field as of right now, up to this point in the season? Absolutely. He has some of the best snags all year long, and it's not even really comparable. The overall pairing of the speed as well as the glove that Ceddanne Rafaela maintains, it's really hard to deny him an outfield spot. But with the overall versatility that he maintains outside of Jarren Duran and obviously Abreu, you can move him in the infield. You can put him at short. You can put him at second. You can put him anywhere in the outfield. And because of that, you may see him moved out of the outfield into the infield, allowing Jarren Duran to maintain his spot in center or obviously in left where he's played up to this point in the year, and leave Wilyer out in right field. There's a lot of different options for the Boston Red Sox. Moving Jarren Duran to the San Diego Padres to open up an outfield spot for top prospect Roman Anthony does not seem like one of them. Is Craig Breslow very eager and willing to go out and make some moves to make everything right, to cover his own ass out in Boston? Yes, I assume and agree that he is. But will he go out there and move someone like Jarren Duran, who has a bunch of years of control ahead of him for this Red Sox team? Why would he go out there and move someone like Duran, who is young, has all of this upside? Yes, he's gotten off to a slow start, but he still has the ability to go out there and really reshape the rest of this year if he just has a stretch of a few good games. The defense is always going to be there. The speed, the ability to steal the bags is always going to be there. It's just the ability to hit for average that we're waiting to see from Duran at a consistent basis. And if that arrives, the move him to San Diego, even with top prospects in return, I don't think it's the greatest idea for the Red Sox. Now, the article would go on to say, whether the Padres possess enough trade capital to acquire Duran and leave enough resources for other needs is another question. Duran, who can play multiple outfield positions, finished last season 7th in the majors in Fangraph's version of wins above replacement. He has not only been as productive in 2025, but the 28-year-old is making only $3.75 million and remains under club control through 2028. The Padres still boost a pair of top 50 prospects in shortstop Leo Deveras and catcher Ethan Salas, but the organization's farm system has been thinned out over the past few years by a slew of win-now trades. Now, we all know the trades the San Diego Padres have been in year after year after year after year. Blockbuster name after blockbuster name after blockbuster name is coming in and then out of San Diego in a very quick fashion, it feels like. And they are resetting their teams year after year after year, and it feels like. Yes, they have been building around Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, and Jackson Merrill for the last 2 years. But, again, if you look just a few years past that, Juan Soto and a bunch of other very good names come in and out of that organization before they go to other powerhouse teams, and the San Diego Padres are able to reset their franchise. Now, the two names they did mention in this article are the number 1 and 2 prospects in the San Diego Padres organization. Could you see the Padres moving either of these in exchange for someone in Jarren Duran? Well, Tyler Milliken went on to give us a little bit more insight behind the entire idea that we just broke down from that article written by Dennis Lin. Now, he was on this radio show, and he goes on to give out a lot of good points. They called in, and again, it's Dennis Lin from The Athletic, and it's on the phone. They did this whole series, and you can hear his entire response to the questions they ask, which is basically just give us a little bit more information. Give us a little bit more insight about how real a trade between Jarren Duran, the Boston Red Sox, and the San Diego Padres really is. And his answer was very, very real, and he was very effective, and he was very efficient in the words that he actually used, saying things that Boston is in a very interesting spot. Yes, they are sub 500. Obviously, Bregman and Casas are both out for a specific amount of time. Casas will not be back this year. Bregman is going to miss a little bit of time before he actually can return. And outside of that, it just has not worked in Boston up to this point. Yes, you can point fingers here, you can point fingers there, but despite all of that, it flat out has not worked. Now, would they want to move someone like Duran and go out and get more prospects to look later down the line and really just sail the ship on this on this season and move on to next season and look to grow and build this team to be better next season compared to trying to compete this season, already being 50 games in, 45 games into the MLB season? He also goes on to mention that Leo Devise would not be available in this trade. That is the number one prospect in the San Diego Padres organization, a switch hitting shortstop who maintains a lot more power than you would honestly anticipate. He's also the third ranked prospect overall amongst the entirety of the MLB, just behind Roman Anthony and Bubba Chandler. So again, he would be very, very substantial in value. Just whether or not the Padres would actually move him seems like a rarity. And if they don't plan on moving this young man, I don't think the Boston Red Sox should even answer the phone because Duran is Duran, and despite the slow start, he is still he's the flame to this Red Sox offense. It's kind of hard for me to even believe the idea of him not being on this team. If Duran is not in the leadoff spot for this Red Sox offense, what does it look like? Are you putting say Don at center in the one hole? Are you putting Bregman there? Like, what's the answer there? Duran is someone who's not only going to get on base at a decent clip, either by walking or again putting back the ball, but once he gets there, his ability to move around the base paths and be just an absolute a nuisance to the pitcher is top of the crop. Like, he is one of the best base stealers in the MLB, and he's someone that is constantly having to be dealt with on the base paths. Now, the other name they did mention in this article is Ethan Salas. He is a top-ranked catcher for the San Diego Padres. Again, another young kid for the Padres, the number 2 ranked prospect in their entire farm system. Another very credible name, just someone that I don't believe the Red Sox would be willing to go out there and move Duran over when they just were able to steal Carlos Narvaez from the New York Yankees just less than a year ago. Let me know down below what you guys believe about this trade. Would you want to see Duran moved for this specific package, in the sense that you would be getting at least one, if not two, of these prospects back, plus more in exchange for All-Star Jarren Duran? And also, do you just not enjoy the idea of Duran being moved for really anything? Obviously, unless it's a king's ransom and you're getting like Vlad Guerrero back or something just not even real in the sense of a trade package. Let me know down below, because right now I just genuinely do not like the idea of Jarren Duran being moved from this Red Sox team. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one.